In the quiet town of Greenridge, where picket fences lined the streets and the scent of freshly cut grass lingered in the air, lived Ethan and Claire Bennett. To the outside world, they were the picture of a happy marriage, Ethan, a respected doctor, and Claire, a beloved elementary school teacher. Their home was a quaint colonial house, draped in ivy, with a garden Claire tended to on weekends. Yet behind the neat curtains and carefully arranged smiles, cracks were beginning to show. Their once passionate conversations had dulled to simple exchanges about errands and schedules. Ethan worked late hours, and Claire found herself alone more often than not, staring at the empty chair across from her at the dinner table. On a cloudy afternoon, while picking up a coffee from a small downtown cafe, Claire met someone unexpected, Adam Caldwell. He was a travel photographer, passing through town for an exhibit at the local gallery. Rugged, with a devil-may-care charm and an intensity in his gaze, Adam was everything Ethan wasn't, unpredictable and bold. Their first conversation was innocent, a comment about the cafe's rustic decor, but the spark was instant. They ran into each other again the next day at the farmer's market, and then again at a bookstore Claire frequented. Soon, their coincidental meetings became deliberate. Claire began weaving a web of small lies. An extra yoga class. A book club meeting. A late-night school project. She and Adam met in hidden corners of the town, the back room of the gallery, a secluded park bench, always aware of the risk yet intoxicated by the thrill. What started as light-hearted flirting morphed into something deeper. Adam spoke to Claire's forgotten desires, her longing for adventure, for passion. With every touch of his hand and every whispered word, she felt herself slipping further from the woman she once was. Adam Caldwell wasn't just a passing traveler with a camera slung over his shoulder. His charm was practiced, his smile calculated. Born in a bustling city far from Greenridge, Adam had grown up watching his father drift from woman to woman, leaving a trail of broken hearts. As a teenager, Adam vowed never to become his father, yet the shadow of betrayal seemed to follow him. He had a reputation, though few in Greenridge knew it. In every town he visited, Adam found himself drawn to married women, those teetering on the edge of dissatisfaction, yearning for escape. It wasn't the women themselves that captivated him, but the thrill of pulling at the threads of their seemingly perfect lives. He never stayed long enough for the damage to catch up with him. But Claire was different. Or so he told himself. Claire's affair with Adam wasn't just about passion, it was about escaping the invisible cage of her life. She adored Ethan once, loved his steadiness, his quiet strength. But over time, their marriage became a routine, and Claire began to feel like an accessory to Ethan's carefully constructed world. She struggled with guilt, every stolen moment with Adam brought a wave of self-loathing. She would sit alone at night, rereading Ethan's sweet text messages, his concern for her well-being. And yet, when Adam called, a part of her, the part long buried under the weight of responsibility, leapt at the chance to feel alive. The push and pull between loyalty and desire gnawed at her, but with every step she took toward Adam, returning to Ethan felt more impossible. Ethan wasn't oblivious. He noticed Claire's distracted stares, the faint smell of unfamiliar cologne on her scarf, and the way she clutched her phone a little too tightly. One evening, after Claire claimed she was at a school event, Ethan drove by the address she had given him, only to find the building dark and empty. His mind raced. Was it just a misunderstanding or something far worse? Suspicion gnawed at Ethan, pushing him to confront his fear. He confided in his close friend and colleague, Matthew, who suggested he hire a private investigator. Ethan, reluctant at first, finally relented. Within days, the investigator returned with damning evidence, photographs of Claire and Adam, a lingering touch at the gallery, a secret kiss by the riverbank, and an intimate dinner at a motel far from town. The night Ethan confronted Claire, the rain lashed against their windows. The envelope with the photos sat between them on the coffee table like a ticking bomb. Is this what our marriage has become? Lies and strangers. Ethan's voice was a quiet storm. Claire's eyes filled with tears, but her silence spoke louder than any words. As their marriage unraveled, more secrets surfaced. Adam wasn't just a passing traveler, he had a complicated past, with a string of broken relationships and a reputation for seducing married women. And then there was the twist Ethan never expected, a hidden letter from Adam to Claire, promising a future together, a life away from Greenridge. The town, once a silent observer, began to buzz with rumors. Claire felt trapped, by her guilt, by her desire for Adam, and by the wreckage of her marriage. Ethan, shattered, vacillated between fury and sorrow. In a final meeting at the cafe where it all began, Claire and Ethan sat across from each other, strangers now, tied only by a shared past. There was no grand reconciliation, only a solemn acceptance that the threads binding them had frayed beyond repair. Weeks passed like a blur. Claire stayed at a friend's house, avoiding the pitiful stares of neighbors. Adam, despite his promises, grew distant. His messages became sporadic, his calls rushed. The fantasy they had built was crumbling, replaced by a harsh reality neither wanted to face. Ethan, meanwhile, threw himself deeper into his work at the hospital. His colleagues noticed his short temper, the dark circles beneath his eyes, but no one dared to ask. Every night, he returned to the empty house, a home that felt more like a ghost of the life he once knew. One evening, Claire finally confronted Adam at his gallery exhibit. The charm was gone, his words were hollow, his gaze elsewhere. "I never promised forever," he said, his voice calm, almost bored. "We were just caught in a moment." Claire walked away, her heart a tangle of regret and shame. Ethan filed for divorce. The legal proceedings were quiet, almost sterile, handled through lawyers to avoid further pain. When the papers were signed, they met one last time, not in a cafe, but at their old home, now divided in half by more than just legal terms. "I hope you find what you're looking for, Claire," Ethan said, his voice steady but empty. "And I hope you can heal," she replied softly. The town of Greenridge moved on, but the echoes of their broken marriage lingered in the whispers of those who had once admired them. The story wasn't about love or hate, it was about loss, choices, and the fragile web of secrets that had unraveled everything.